People hear the word cortisol and immediately panic. The prevailing narrative links this hormone to Cushing syndrome, a swelling of the features commonly called moon face, and stubborn layers of abdominal fat. This intense fear of stress hormones drives people to seek out pure, uninterrupted comfort. You have individuals who refuse to step into a mildly cold shower because they are terrified of doing anything that might trigger a spike in their stress levels. But this chart tracking hormone levels reveals a glaring biological paradox. If you look at a person doing a healthy, high-intensity workout, like a 4x4 sprint session, their baseline cortisol shoots up to triple or quadruple its normal resting rate. If you take that person's blood work right after they finish exercising, it looks practically identical to the blood work of someone who just broke their arm or contracted a severe infection. If a physically beneficial workout and snapping a bone set off the exact same chemical alarm, our modern view of stress as a purely toxic element is completely wrong. To understand where this phobia came from, we have to look back at an endocrinologist named Hans Selye. He established the original framework for how our bodies handle pressure, which he called the general adaptation syndrome. Selye was studying the effects of continuous, inescapable pressure. He accurately documented that when a person is subjected to chronic stress, it inevitably leads to systemic exhaustion, high levels of inflammation, and severe metabolic disease. The public absorbed this research and formed a sweeping, inaccurate conclusion. Society took Selye's warnings about chronic, long-term exhaustion and applied them to all stress, regardless of duration or intensity. By treating every stressor as dangerous, we accidentally demonized the specific biological alarm system required to keep human beings healthy and functional. Acute stress is an agnostic biological request for resources. It is simply your body recognizing an external threat and shifting into a state that allows you to adapt to it. This animated schematic maps how the body manages resources under pressure. When the alarm rings, the body intentionally diverts glucose away from places like the digestive tract and routes it directly into active systems. In an infection, that fuel goes to the immune system. In a gym, it goes to your muscles. The same mechanic applies to the brain. Acute stress triggers the release of catecholamines, chemicals like adrenaline and dopamine, which create the exact neural environment required to forge and strengthen new brain pathways. In fact, Selye explicitly warned about a condition he called hypostress, a biological danger of existing in a state with too little pressure to ever trigger these adaptation pathways. If your cortisol alarm never rings, your body never registers a reason to adapt. Without that intermittent push, an individual remains physically and mentally fragile. Researchers describe the solution to this fragility as cross-stressor adaptation. We can largely divide our daily pressures into two buckets, physical and psychological. This gauge visualization illustrates how the two interact. Because your body uses the exact same biological alarm system for a hard run as it does for a stressful day at work, training your physical capacity will harden your resilience against psychological threats. Regular exposure to demanding physical exertion makes you highly robust. When a difficult life event hits, individuals with physical stress training do not experience the same severe, debilitating dips in cognitive function and mood. A high-intensity workout serves as an active, preventative immunization protocol for your brain. So you have to pick your stressor. You can passively absorb the slow, creeping weight of chronic psychological anxiety, or actively choose brief, explosive bouts of inoculating physical effort. There is a critical biological caveat. This cycle of adaptation only functions if you are getting enough sleep to allow your cortisol levels to completely drop back down to their baseline at night. As long as you prioritize that nightly recovery, your biological alarm is a highly effective tool. It acts as the primary engine driving your physical and mental evolution.